What are they not telling us about success? Have you ever been in that situation where you have done everything mechanically right? You have followed all the procedure, you have done everything, but something just seemed to be missing. It's like the missing ingredient. People are ashamed to tell you what didn't work for them, especially when they have spent their entire life believing this is the way, and now they have reached a certain level where they now know for sure that something is terribly wrong. But then they are too far off to go back for it, so that they are living a depressed life. But then they are ashamed to tell you it didn't work. That is why people keep telling the lies even though they don't believe it. Many people with a lot of money are now telling us it's about relationship. It's about that peace of mind. They're telling us that the end doesn't justify the mean. The road to the end is what gives the end its true meaning. Now, young people like myself have been asking this question for a very long time, and we don't have time to waste. What are they not telling us? Now, this is the question I want to look into today, and I just want to invite you to think with me. Hi, salam alaikum. You are about to listen to Human Bound Podcast. This is the voice of your brother and host, Ali Hambal. I want to thank you very much for staying with me on this podcast. It means the world to me. I have this opportunity to share my thought with you, my brother. And what I do on this podcast, if this should be your first time joining me, is ask questions. Now, these questions, I seek to explore them because I believe as human beings, we have more legitimate claim to curiosity than we have to knowledge. But by asking questions, we would give ourselves the chance to see world through different lenses and to appreciate other dimensions of life. I believe it might help us have that worthwhile short stay of this on this glorious earth. All right. If you are a young man, just like myself, who is trying to find his feet on this world, trying to make something for himself, trying to make his life worthwhile, you may have asked this question at some point in your life. And the question is, what is success? And how am I going to achieve it? Now, young people like myself have been asking this question for a very long time because we are adventurous. We are at that stage of our lives where we really need to know. And we don't have time to waste because the sooner we know, the sooner we can kickstart our journey towards that success. So we have been asking, what is success? And how are we going to achieve it? And whom are we asking? Well, we are asking the elderly, we are asking the successful people, people we are trying to look up to, people we perceive successful. So we wanted to know. And sure enough, we have been receiving some responses because these successful people have been trying to answer our question. They have been trying to define for us what success is and how to attain it. So we received some answers such as get money, build house, build a mansion. That is success. And to support this narrative for a very long time, we have created a whole industry to push and promote this narrative. So the media industry, the movie industry, and they push this idea. And even in our motivational speaking industry, the motivational speakers, they would push this narrative that is all about you achieving that goal. It's all goal oriented. It's all achievement oriented. It's all about getting that thing oriented. So the motivation has always been set a goal and go after it. Now, you have to be brutal. You have to be very hard. You just have to break yourself in getting this success. For so many years, this has been the definition of success. At least that is the definition that we have been given. At least that is the definition we received from the Western world, the world in which many of us and most of us are operating at the moment. Well, The question is, what are they not telling us? Now, this is the question I want us to look into. What are they not telling us? Because sometimes things seem too good to be true. And especially when we young people, as we are walking towards this journey, we finally find ourselves in the middle of a journey we don't seem to see a glorious end. And many of us begin to ask and question, is it even a scam? And sometimes we become terrified, especially when we see the people whom we perceive successful suffer from some mental illness, suffer from depression, suffer from stress, suffer from a whole lot of mental trauma, and some of them even commit suicide. And they are supposed to be the successful people, and they are supposed to be the people we look up to. And they have achieved everything we seek to achieve. They have arrived at a place we are seeking to arrive at. But then something is not right. And it is this realization that makes you and I now try to ask the question again, what are they not telling us about success? So, in preparing for this episode, I decided to look up on Google to find out whether successful people actually suffer any mental issues. And the result I got was quite shocking, because what we young men are aiming at is a future wherein we will find peace of mind, wherein we would enjoy the fruit of our labor, wherein we would enjoy the life with family, our loved ones, our wives, husbands, children. And then this is what most of us are looking for. And we never wanted to grow old and be suffering some mental illness, some pressure, some trauma. And it appears that many of these successful people in quote are actually traumatized. And it says that the suicide rate among the elite and the rich people is relatively low, but here is the catch. The rate of ideation, which means for them to think about actually taking their lives, committing suicide, is quite high, which means that successful people, in quote, people we look up to, people who have things we want, they might have considered a lot of times about taking their lives. Now, what what might have gone so wrong that would even give these people the idea that I don't want to live anymore? Isn't this the same person that we are looking up to? Isn't this the same person that have worked all his life to get to the position he is today, to have the mansion he has today, to have the fame he has today, to have the properties he has today? Now, isn't this the same person that we young men try to be like? Why are they contemplating suicide? I mean, you and I might not have seen such people like in direct contact, but the report says that many of them actually complete their suicidal mission. Some of them actually kill themselves. And the amount of people, the rate of those who actually finish it, like get it done, kill themselves, the rate is relatively low to other people. But then the thinking of it, the thinking of them killing themselves is high. Now, why is that? Does that also come with the package, with the success package? Contemplating killing yourself? Now, this is one of those things that makes young people like myself. And if you haven't started asking this question, I suggest you might start considering those questions. What is it that your motivational speaker hasn't told you about all this success? What are they not telling us about all this utopian future that young people are now chasing? That we are choked in the pipeline. Everyone is trying to run his brother over just to get ahead. Now, this is the narrative that we have been conditioned to believe. And this is the narrative that the media industry, the movie industry is pushing. This is the narrative that the hip hop culture is trying to push. It's all about the luxury, it's all about the money. Now go check out your hip hop culture. It's just all about that. I mean, it's a music culture. I mean, it stimulates something in you. But I just want us to think about this. What are they not telling us? If successful people are trying to take their own lives, there is something wrong. Now, why is it that those successful people who have gotten there, I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them actually felt what it means to be there? They felt the emptiness in their heart, in their life, even though they have what we see on the outside. They have the money, they have the mansions, they have the fame. And these are the things that we see on the outside. But then they wouldn't tell us what is missing in their inside. Now, think about it. I believe people are ashamed to tell you what didn't work for them, especially when they have spent their entire life believing this is the way, and now they have reached a certain level where they now know for sure that something is terribly wrong. But then they are too far off to go back for it, so that they are living a depressed life. But then they are ashamed to tell you it didn't work. For so many years, that has been the case. And if a person is ashamed to tell you about his failings, then he might just join the popular narrative to just tell you it works. That is why people keep telling the lies, even though they don't believe it. Let me tell you a story. Very, very long time ago, I went to Kejetia, okay, to buy a phone, a mobile phone. At the time, there was this new Sony phone that came out, and I went to Kejetia to buy a phone. If you are going to buy a mobile phone in Kejetia, open your eyes, like shine your eyes, because boys will sell you soap in a in a phone cover, in a phone like package. All right. So I went there and I bought this phone. Okay, they showed me this is a phone, and I knew how expensive the phone was. So I knew. And I said, okay, I am prepared. I've got the money. And then I gave them the money. They just turned the phone on and they turned it off and they gave me the phone. Well, it wasn't a soap, at least. Thank God for that. So I took my phone and I went off. And as I got home, I switched the phone on and Sony phone, but then it sounded funny. Okay, it didn't look like Sony, the software, the operation. So it looks like a rifa. It's just like a copycat. It's a fake one, very cheap one. Like it's like a toy. It's not original. And I bought it very expensive. I got really, really sad, very, very angry at the same time. And well, I can't do anything. I won't find them. You won't find these guys. Once they sold you the phone, they are done. You will never find them. Now, how am I going to explain this to people? So I came out, I was using the phone. Well, I don't have any other phone, so I had to use it. And some of my friends at school, they go like, Humber, you've got a new phone. I say, yeah, I've got a new phone. And they go like, but this is not original. And I go like, yeah, I know. How much did you buy it? Remember, I bought it very expensive. Very expensive. I bought it at the original price. But then I told them I bought it very cheap. Very cheap. Next to nothing. Then they go, oh, then that's fine. That's fine. If you bought it at this price, it's not original. Then I go, yeah. I know. Come on. I know phones. I mean, and nobody gonna trick me into buying this. I know it. So I bought it for cheap. It's just like a chicken change. Deep inside, I knew I was defrauded. I knew boys actually did me over. But then I wouldn't tell anyone because I am ashamed. I would be I would be ashamed to reveal my stupidity to people. Imagine what people would think of me. a highly respected guy, and you went and you bought this phone. So I was ashamed to disclose what really happened. I was ashamed to tell people I failed in this venture. Isn't it amazing that sometimes when we are ashamed of our actions, when we are ashamed to disclose our failings, we rather tell people the popular narrative that actually corresponds to their thinking, just to avoid the shame. This is the reason why people might have taken certain decisions in their lives. They might have taken a certain route in their lives, and they have tread that route all the way to the end of their lives. It didn't work for them. They failed. They knew they failed. But then they would not tell you this road doesn't work. Why? Because they are ashamed. They are ashamed to tell you this road does not work. I mean, bogus, right? Bogus. We come from like wherever we come from, okay? Abu Abu, Sawaba, Akrem, Mimpiasem, Bobine, Spare, Asabi, Dagomba line, everywhere, like Ghana, Nima. We just spread. Back in the days, traveled to United States, to the United Kingdom, Canada, Germany, Australia. We just go out, like we go bogus. Now you see the narrative that these bogus actually pushed back in the day was that everything was green outside. Like the moment you dropped, like you literally would go to a machine and it would be vomiting money. Money. It's like you come on, catch him again, Nkudi. Like the narrative is that once you are outside, no problem. You become this big guy. Now, they didn't tell us something. And whenever they spend 20 years, 30 years outside, being in this state of servitude, so for some of them to the level of being indentured, like in terms of in slavery terms, for 20 years, breaking their backs. Some of them might have even catch some disease, terminal. And because the narrative is the moment you go outside, you are going to make it. Well, they have made some money. They might have built 3-bedroom house, maybe a story building, whatever. But the quality of their life is really in terrible shape. Whenever they come home, like they wouldn't tell you that they have missed this. They wouldn't tell you they have failed in this sense. So that the people who traveled back in the day, they came in, they saw the way the situation is, but then the narrative has to be protected because protecting the narrative means protecting their integrity. It means protecting their self-worth and respect. It means protecting them against the shame of failure. So that they know they have failed, but if they tell you they have failed, ain't nothing worse than that. That's why many of them bogus back in the day came in, couldn't do anything, suffered, but they wouldn't come back home. Why? Because they are ashamed. So that this shame would just wouldn't allow them to come back to face it. They rather die serving in somebody's country, suffering all the indignities, being the stupid in the strange land. That's why many of us wouldn't come back home, because the way that we have perceived to be the right way, we have traveled, we have seen, it is not working, it is failing, but we have to protect the narrative because we are ashamed to admit and tell people we have failed. But thank God, yeah, now the gate has been flooded, everyone has gone out, and people have actually seen the realities on ground. Now, nobody can lie anymore. Nobody, you can't protect it anymore. The Gen Zs, right? The Gen Zs are now seeing the realities. They don't want to suffer like the grandmother, like the grandpa and uncle. No, they just want to maintain the freshness, okay? They want to be cool. Now, the Gen Zs, they don't care about good. They care about cool. So they would say it the way it is. And this is the Gen Z that are now trying to ask the question again, like, what is success? If the blogger tried to explain that success is you coming here and working your butt out for like 3 years, 10, 20, 30 years just to build a 3-bedroom house, the Gen Z would go like, nah, I'm not, nah, I would have to do something much more than that. So the Gen Zs would expose the realities. And the reality is that in the process of you getting that, you lose a lot. Sometimes you lose your health, sometimes you lose your social life, sometimes you lose everything. So this is the question that is now on the table that people are asking, because we have lived this narrative for a very long time. So now what is it that people are not telling us? Now let's look into that. I believe Tony Robbins, you would know Tony Robbins. I mean, who wouldn't know Tony Robbins? He's one of the gurus in the motivational speaking industry. What I love about what Tony Robbins does is he doesn't just tell you to go get it. You know, the conventional motivational speech, it has done its time. Now people have all seen the hollowness, the emptiness in it. Like, go get it. You can't do it. And that has been the narrative of motivational speech. They have damaged the industry. I mean, everybody is trying to tell you go get it with a cool voice. But now people know better. But what I love about Tony Robbins is just he doesn't just tell you go get it. His motivation is like providing you with strategies for real success. Recently, I was listening to him on a podcast he has done with Jay Shetty on Jay Shetty's show, and Jay Shetty, he's trying to link success and life with spirituality, the Eastern spirituality, like India and other places. Tony Robbins, he is trying to connect like real life success with spiritual success. Now, this is the kind of thing I love. And this is the missing element. Listen, have you ever seen this? Recently, I have done something with AI. Funny story. I have uploaded my image on AI. I was trying to generate some image to use it for a material. And I uploaded it on this tool, Chat GPT, and I described what I wanted it to do. You know how you use command prompt to basically generate what you want from AI. So I described what I wanted, and it generated an image of me because I wanted an image that looks exactly like me, because I don't want any alterations, because these AI tools can do that. You have to give them specific words just for them to generate what you want. Okay. So I did that, and it generated the image. I looked at the image. It looks like me. Exactly like me. My posture, the texture, everything. Everything. But there was a problem. Like, something was missing. I was like, it is me. It's really me, but it doesn't look like me. I don't know whether you get what I'm saying. Like, it is me, but it doesn't look like me. So I said, well, I decided to forward it to a very close person to me, a person who would really, really know me. So I forwarded it to my wife, and I said to her, baby, take a look at this picture. Do you think it's me? Does it look like me? And then she was like, it's you, but there is something missing. It doesn't look like you now, but it's you. She doesn't seem to get what was wrong. So I actually photoshopped it, and I placed the original reference image on the side and the generated AI image on the side. And then I sent them back to her. And then she looks, it's you, but this is different. Can you see that in this one, it's you though, but it looks a little bit, you know, she just couldn't get it. Just the way I couldn't just like make my mind around what exactly was the problem. you know, this is what I'm trying to say. Have you ever done something like been in that situation where you have done everything mechanically right? Okay, mechanically, like it is right. Every single thing you are supposed to do, you have followed all the procedure, you have done everything, but something just seemed to be missing. It's like the missing ingredient. Yeah. Now they were telling me a story of a young lady. Like she has this beautiful yoro yoro business. Now yoro yoro, you know yoro yoro. I love yoro yoro. It's a dish. We make it with like corn. We cook it, and then I don't know where it came from, but I just love it. I just love yoro yoro. You cook it, and then you mix it with some grinded pepper and oil, and you eat it with some fried fish. I love yoro yoro. Now this lady had this beautiful business of yoro yoro. A lot of customers, people love yoro yoro that she cooked. She taught a lady to take over, okay? And this lady stopped doing the yoro yoro, and the trained lady supposed to take over the business. She started, and for some reason, people just don't relate to that. I mean, she is following all the necessary procedure, but something was missing. I don't know. Now, these things, sometimes we can hardly lay our hands on it. Have you ever been in that situation where you think you have done everything right, but something was missing? Now, this is the same thing with success. I mean, you would do everything. You have gone through the school system, you have done all the investment, you have gotten all the money, you have built all the house, but then at the end of the day, something just doesn't feel quite right. Now, this missing link is the link that actually causes a lot of successful people to have this suicidal ideation, like thinking about taking their lives, which means the missing thing is so huge that makes people even try to kill themselves despite spending all these years trying to get success. So, what I love about what Tony Robbins does is that he's trying to link the physical success, the mechanical success, to the actual ingredient that for so many years we have not been told that these ingredients are actually the most important ingredients. Now, there is this body mind spirit connection. Now, once one is taken out, especially the spiritual, because the spiritual and the internal, that is the missing ingredient. That is that which gives you the peace of mind to actually enjoy the fruit of your labor. Because if you don't have that and you have just the fruit, you would lose appetite. Okay, you have the fruit, but you don't have the health, and you have lost appetite. Now, the appetite is just like you having that internal, like peace of mind, internal appetite, the spirit to enjoy it whilst you have it. I believe in the Quran, when Allah speaks about success, He has this beautiful way of speaking about success because He says, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Now think about it. Okay, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. He was talking about successful people, and he is not saying قَدْ أَفْلَحَ ذُو الْمَالِ. ذوي المال, the mal. I don't know the Arabic, I don't know the Arab, but he didn't say that those with money have succeeded. He didn't say that those with property have succeeded. He says those with faith. Now, faith is internal, it is intangible, it's immaterial. So he says, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Those who have the internal resilience, the internal perfections, they are the real successful people because these are the people who have the spiritual perfection. And when he is trying to describe these people, they say, الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ, right? Those who have this sakina, those who have this consciousness whenever they are standing before the Almighty. Now, he is describing success in the spiritual realm. He's trying to tell you the missing ingredient. That's something that for so many years the success industry has not been telling us. And then we have been rat chasing the money and all of that. And at the end of the day, we don't have that peace of mind. We don't have love. We don't have social life. life passed us just like that. I mean, we are walking straight, eyes fixed on the ball, eyes fixed on the game. Now, when you've got your eyes locked on the goal, you don't see the passage of time. Everything is just a byproduct. By the time you realize you are at 50, you have it, and then you turn around and everything has passed you by. Your wife, you don't even know her. Your son, you don't even know him. Your daughter, you don't even know her. Why? Because you are focused here and they are living there. So that now it's time for you to turn back and enjoy them, but you don't know them. The people who have been in your life all the while are now strangers to you. Ain't it sad that you don't even know how to connect anymore because you have wasted it in locking up on the goal? So that when Allah explains and describes real success, He's talking about the interior, the internal, because that's where it matters. So he says, "Qad aflaha man zakkaha," right? Those who have perfected it. It here referring to the heart. And if you are able to perfect your heart, then you have succeeded. This is why the Prophet says, "Ashadul jihad, jihadun nafs," that the most difficult battle or war that you might engage in is the one you wage against your own heart. Because as Pythagoras described, he says that the heart is a temple. So you would have to treat it as such. Now, this is what the successful motivational speakers don't tell us. It's all about the material things. But now we are beginning to gain consciousness. We are beginning to realize that even with all that money, you would still want to kill yourself. You would still want to commit suicide. So that even with all that money, you can't still, without, so that even with all that fame, you can still be lonely. I don't know if you have ever seen a lonely, famous person. It sounds ironical, but lonely people, some of them are really famous in the outside world. But at some point, you come to realize that um, real fame is you having that one person that really truly matters. So that when you go out and thousands of people are calling your name and you don't hear that one person call your name, it's as though the whole world is mute. So that one person matters more than the whole world. We are now beginning to understand that even with fame, you can still be lonely. So that we can now even come to understand that even with a lot of money, you can still be deprived of life. So, as young people, as we are walking this journey towards what we want in life, I believe this is now the new cool thing. I am so happy that there is a lot of people now online and they are speaking out. I am so happy that a lot of people are speaking out today. That the way we have been conditioned to believe and perceive success to be has not done good to many of us, because these are bold people. They are very, very bold people, courageous people. They are now talking against the narrative that, look, the end wouldn't look the way you perceive it to be. You will be lonely and you might kill yourself if you don't take your time as you are walking towards success. Many people are telling us today it's not about the money. Many people with a lot of money are now telling us it's about relationship. They are telling us now it's about that peace of mind. They are telling us that the end doesn't justify the mean. The road to the end is what gives the end its true meaning. Many people are coming out. I love the fact that many podcasters, many motivational speakers today are changing the narrative to what really works for human being. So the missing link, alhamdulillah, people are now trying to connect it, because when a person lives within a certain state for a very long time, he begins to redefine that state, because we have lived it for a very long time. Now it's not working. Young people are depressed. Young people are lonely. Young people don't have love. Young people don't even think they need love. I mean, is this even a healthy situation? That's a very bad situation. Because as human beings, we are social mammals, we are social creatures. I mean, we can't live without society. We can't live without people. But you see, the success narrative that we have been told and conditioned to believe for a very long time have made the people think that today, um, you have to just go for it and anything else doesn't matter. Did you remember that song? The guy that sang that song. I mean, I think that music is quite a depressing. He said, "Lonely at the top, lonely, lonely, lonely." I think that is very depressing. That's a very depressing music. Why is that music so famous? I think that music is famous because it is speaking to the state of mind of many people today, many young people today. The perception that we have is you have to be lonely if you want to be successful. I mean, who said that? The most successful person I know as a religious person is the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, isn't it? Now the Prophet had how many wives? A lot of wives. Okay, a lot of wives. I don't care what you say about that. That is for the religious people to think about. But he had a lot of social life, happy life. He had peace of mind. He had wives. He had so many companions he could call friends. He was successful in his social life. He was successful in his like leadership life. And you want to tell me that loneliness is the price you have to like pay for success? Now, this is a narrative that has not resonated in the minds, unfortunately, of many of us. And we have been chasing it. I think it's about time that we try to now redefine. Um, this guy, Trevor Noah, is he? Yeah, he's a comedian. I mean, he maintains his friends. He says that in these later days, like recently, now what he does is to try to. I'm not quoting him, I'm paraphrasing what he said because I can't quote him, I forgot. Come on. He was trying to say that he used to make his work the priority. And now he begins to realize that no, the work is supposed to be the secondary thing. Okay, that relationship would have to come first. I mean, we all do it sometimes. It's sad. We try so hard not to do it. It's so powerful. Like you want to forget everyone until you achieve something. That is the narrative. Now, what is the price for that? At the end of the day, you lose everyone. And you get what you want and you can't have anyone to share it with. Now, funny story. Few years ago, I was chasing for something. I was looking for something. I wouldn't tell you what it is. But I was looking for it. And I was really determined to get it. And my family, everyone was praying that I get that. Okay, everybody was praying. And finally, the day came and I got the call that, okay, I got this. This was what I was looking for. I got it. I got it. Okay. The first person I wanted to tell was a person very dear to my heart. I picked the phone. I rang. It wasn't going through. The line just wasn't going through. Okay, that's just one person. I've got another person. Let me call the other person. I called the next person. It wasn't going through. Like I had these three people that are very dear to my heart that I really wanted to share this good thing with. I rang them and the line just wasn't going through. Trust me, brother. Even though I had what I was looking for, something I waited for ages, now I had it. I did not feel good. I felt like I didn't feel as much happy as I would if I had that opportunity to share it with them. It was one of the happiest days of my life, but I did not experience it as such. Why? Because I didn't have the people to share it with. I was sad until the time I got them and then I shared it with them and I was happy. What I'm trying to say is, it is just our nature as human beings. The moment you have something very beautiful, the moment you achieve something, as a human being, it is your nature to look for someone to share it with. The moment you build that house, the moment you walk into that house, the first thing you're going to ask is, who am I going to share this house with? That is just it. Otherwise, it's just going to be an empty, big, fat house. Someone to share it with. So that's what they're not telling you, that relationship matters. They're not telling us that As we are chasing that success, that money, that business, that fame, that relationship matters, that love matters, that friendship matters. They are not telling us that having a good conscience matters. They are not telling us that having peace of mind matters. They did not tell us that you will have to enjoy your journey. They didn't tell us that all these things matter if you are going to enjoy your success. They only told us to go for the success, to go for the money. And many people went for the money and now they are not happy. And now they are suffering and now they regret. They wish they had enough time to stay back and enjoy their people, the people in their lives. So, what are they not telling us? All of that. But Alhamdulillah, now we are beginning to see it for ourselves. So, my friend, if you are a young man just like me, trying to make something out of this short life, trying to find your place in this life, it matters that you don't let life pass you by. It matters that you do not fog out and blur out everything other than that goal. It matters that you have presence in your life as you are walking towards success. Do not let that goal blind you to everything else because goals can blind you to life so that life passes you by whilst you are fixed on the goal. That's what they are not telling us. They are not telling us that to have success, you will have to have mental success, spiritual success, so that the physical success will have meaning and that you can enjoy the physical success. That's what I think we should look into, and that's what I think would help us once we achieve that. And that's what I think would get us there and give us that joyful life. Well, I hope you find something of value in this episode, and I should see you in my next episode. Jazakumullah. Salam alaikum.